So I had this interesting idea. What if I used Uber and DoorDash to actually make money to repair these vehicles? Instead of doing the generic car repair video, this here might be a little bit interesting. With that being said, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Alright, so the goal of this series is quite simple. I want to see if gig work can actually pay to rebuild my auction cars. Okay, so right up the bat, what we got here first is going to be the Charger. We'll get into the Silverado a little bit later. It does need the most work done to it, so we're going to start off with something easy, and we're going to see if this here can indeed work. Alrighty, first up is the tires. Now I gotta be honest, the alignment is super bad on this car, hence is why the tires look this awful. But before I can get an alignment, I got to get the tires done. Now, even by me getting the tires done, I have to hurry up to get the alignment, because just by me installing these tires, if I don't get the alignment done in time, it's just gonna kill these tires as well. I'm not gonna lie to you, I had to move away from DoorDash. My main reason, because of this. So I've been out here for about 2 hours now. Maybe it's because I tried to do this here in the morning, which is at 10 o'clock. I started at 9 actually, and got no orders. It's 11:30, and I finally got one order, and I did that one order, and it was, let me show you, let me see, what was it that I made off of that one order? The one order I did was $3.06. Okay, so I have to be honest, DoorDash wasn't making me any money, and I spent a lot of time sitting and waiting for orders. The app was a little bit frustrating as well. It used to tell me that I needed a PIN code or numbers or needed to be entered to complete a delivery order. But I mean, aside from that, I did get over that a little bit quickly. But many of the orders from DoorDash were around $2 to $5, while when I got on Uber, the orders on average was around $10. And guys, I worked for about 4 hours a day and did that for about 4 days. And I know I probably should have, went at it a little bit harder, but I had other stuff to do. But anyways, 4 days and 4 hours worth of work brought me in about $68.34. Now, if it wasn't for me owning a tire shop, and I needed to buy these tires, I probably would have been cooked. Okay, now for the two tires, and this here is for the mounting and the balance and everything. Obviously, like I said, I have my own shop, so I was able to do the work myself. Was roughly $47.23, which left me with $21.11. But I gotta include gas, which cost me somewhere around $15. So I put $15 in my tank and then drove it around for that. So that left me with about $6.11. And to be honest with you, that is not enough to get in alignment. So I jumped into Uber, and right away I was surprised. I worked the same time, same days as I did in DoorDash, and nearly tripled my money. That was $37 and 34 cents for 2 hours, and I think it was 38 minutes, something like that. And that is actually pretty phenomenal. That's roughly almost $17 per hour that I worked. So I worked for 2 hours and made, it was like I want to say like $15 and some change, 16 and some change, somewhere around that, which is really good. Now with Uber, I was able to make the money much faster. They definitely did have me and was dinging orders on the fly, so I was able to get plenty of orders. I think on average I was doing maybe about 5 or 6 orders, but I was making roughly around about 30 to 40 bucks. It was almost like $10 per order. So it didn't feel like it was a complete waste of time. It actually felt really well. The only thing that I had to say about that is that sometimes the orders will come in a little too fast, and I would get to places, and then I would have to sit down and wait for the food to be ready, because they were still in the back preparing the food and it was not yet completed. But I didn't mind, because I had something to do, and that was all I was doing, was waiting for that. And then some people even offer tips even after you make your delivery. So I would make a delivery, and then I would look up and then notice that the customer had given me, an extra $3 or $4 tip. So anyway, after that, we turned around, and I took the charger to this guy and dropped it off. It was fairly busy that day, so we just dropped it off, and I went and ran some errands. So unfortunately, I don't have any footage of that, and came on back to pick up the charger, and it was actually pretty good, because the Uber runs, we made $91, and I did like 6 hours and worked 2 days out of the week and made $91. The alignment was $62 and some change, and was able to go ahead and get that there done, and still had plenty of money left over. So all it really cost me to do was to do one more Uber run, and I did that one Uber run, and that Uber run gave me more than enough money to go ahead and get the oil and the oil filter, and I did the oil change myself. Okay, and after I had got the alignment done, that left me with roughly $29.17. Did another run for about a day, and I made, I think it was $31 and some change, which was more than enough. And then I was able to go in and get my oil and the oil filter, and then I was able to do it myself. The oil and oil filter ran me right at $47, and was able to go ahead and get the oil change done on the charger. Now, despite the fact that Uber did make me the most money, Uber did have a downside to itself. So a couple of things is that the app would run really, really hard, and it would cause my phone to drain the battery much, much faster. The other thing is that despite the fact that Uber did make me the most money, if you're not paying attention, Uber will have you delivering in some wild places, and you'll be further out than you initially expect to be. I found myself in the Tomball area, going all the way to Conroe, and even further than that, just by doing Uber deliveries. And it wasn't that it was so long. It was just that, well, since you're in this area, there's someone else who ding an order, and I was looking at the orders and seeing, $11, $12, and $16, and was like, sure, I'll go ahead and do it. But anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video here up. We was able to go ahead and get the oil change, alignment, and the tires on this car. The next time y'all see this charger, I'm gonna try to get this side panel painted on this one here, and I am looking at some wheels. So this is another reason why I went with the OEM tires on this one here, because I am thinking about adding some better wheels. So anyway, I appreciate you guys for watching, and just stay tuned for the next video that will be coming soon. Like and subscribe to the channel if you're up to it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Y'all take care. And somebody put in $4 and got 1 gallon of gas. I'm about to do the same.